What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and I'm going to be doing the overnight lineup builds uh, for the sports that price and lock overnight. Um, so we're going to be talking about the League of Legends slate that goes at 4 in the morning, and the Rome tennis slate that starts at 6:10 in the morning. This is all Eastern. And we're also going to do the golf, which starts at 11:09 Eastern time, I think. Just because again I'm busy in the morning, so this is when we're going to build these things. A very nice night in baseball. Won the FanDuel Monster for 30K. That was very strong, obviously. Um, and let's see if we can avoid giving all of it back in these tournaments. Probably can't. These tournaments aren't big enough. So first with League of Legends, we'll just do it chronologically. You'll see again, I started to play this team fight for 1K for first. I just to get a little more, few more lineups in, a little more experience playing these things. Going to be messing around with Saberson builds a little bit, so decided to post these also just in case people wanted to sweat. And again, this is why I do it is so that you know the staking stuff. So number one, people can get some kind of sweat if they don't can't play themselves, and number two, so I can do these videos and help people learn how to play, and get into a little more depth of how I'm building my lineups here. So I already uploaded the projections, and let's just get kind of a quick overview of the slate. I mean, you see Hanwha Life is, a minus, 2,000 favorite here against Fred Brion. The only thing is that Fred Brion does play a slow style. So it is possible that Hanwha could be a fade of their four-man stacks. Um, so I think that's what we're going to kind of hope for. In addition to that, this WEIG matchup, I don't know. I just keep having this feeling that WE just keeps getting it done. IG is a minus 200 favorite. I think that I'm going to end up getting pretty overweight on WE here. And ALFPX, I'm not entirely convinced that AL is just kind of a lock to sweep here. I wouldn't mind getting some FPX exposure as well. And the KT matchup, I don't really have too much of an interest in the underdog there. So of the underdogs, I wouldn't mind getting a pretty healthy amount of FPX and IG to the point, excuse me, FPX and WE to the point where I might just kind of force it in if I don't get what I want. But let's just see. We're going to build, we'll build a lot. We'll build 2,000 lineups here. Um, the other thing, and I was kind of right about this, I just didn't get the right combination. Whenever you have several really big favorites, then it's possible that 4-2s and things like that can be really in play because you could slide that, you could slide the team slot kind of as a one-off for some of these teams that win slow and all that stuff. Turns out it was Gen G that had the low kill 2-0 this time, but uh I think that some lineups with like Hanwha in the team position without their players in the other positions, I think those could be in play here. So I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm going to make any rules about 4-3s. Um, I'll tell you, I don't know why. I just really like this WE team though with Karras. Always seems that Karras and Monkey. I mean, they always seem just kind of get it done. So I'm gonna make sure. Again, this is not really the way I play nowadays, but I'm gonna force in some monkey captain lineups, okay, with WE. I just he always seems to just kill it. Um Karras really good and Taiwan really good. This IG team never really does it for me. So and it's the late I said late night hammer, it's the late morning hammer, I guess. So I'll end up having probably decent amount of exposure to this, but probably I don't know. I'm guessing that I have more WE than IG at the end of the day. I'm curious to see how KT Wolster projects out. I think that anyone's legend is probably going. I think the majority of the lineups are going to look like H Hanwha and anyone's legend, I guess. unless for some reason pricing makes that difficult. Let me predict what this is going to look like. I'm going to take a look at my projections here. Uh, and then, yeah, it looks as though it would be actually, boy, maybe anyone's legend would be probably highest owned, I would think. So let's take a look. Actually, no, check this out. So, first of all, a lot of 4.2s, 4.3s, 3.3, and team specs. Actually, IG at the top. No, that's just not going to work. We're gonna have to play a decent amount of this WE business. So let's first run the contest sims. I mean, I'll play WE. I'll play IG if we have to, if they project all that well, but I guess they do. But what if I did do 4.3s only? What would that look like? Like, how would that impact my exposures? Wow, actually, it puts KT at the top of the list as far as the 4.3s go. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I am going to, since I'm going to be gambling here with the WE exposure, I think I want to put like a minimum of 30% of WE. And not only that, but I think also just for funsies, we'll put a minimum of 15% of the WE four-mans. And then to be really, really super greedy, what we're going to do is actually in the captain, we're going to put a minimum of monkey in the captain of 10%. Always seems to do it. Where is he? He's nowhere here. What happened to monkey? Yeah, we got to get him at least, I would say 10% monkey captain. I think that's got to be fair. And then is that it? I think that's the only rules we're going to be putting in here. And with that being the case, now we have just as much WE as IG. And we are getting a bunch of Hanwha as well. The FPX, I just have these visions of Azim just like killing it too. So we're gonna give them a little bit of love here, get them 10%, 10% minimum. And I think this is gonna be good. I don't need any bro or DNF, but a little bit of FPX never hurt anybody. And as I mentioned, more WE than IG. I think this looks pretty good. And what do we have? We just have all 4.3s. All right, I kind of like it. Now with respect to captain, just so you see the exposures. Wow, look at all this Dioctam, and then Viper, Monkey 10%, Gala 10%. I think we should probably put more of these junglers in the captains. I mean, they just always seem to get there, you know? So instead, let's give Tarzan right now. What are we getting in the captain? 3%. I want to give him 10. Like all the junglers and Cuz 10, right? So Cuz 10, Tarzan 10. We don't need any Mako in the captain. So let's get rid of him. We don't need any Delight in the captain either. But what we do need are these junglers. So let's see. Tarzan, where are you? Tarzan, 10%, I guess, makes sense. The captain, and then JJ, gotta have 10% of him. Like all these junglers that are in play, we just have to use them in the captain. They just always seem to be doing it. And what I say, and Cuz too, right? All these dudes. Okay. apply, and now let's just make sure that we got here. All four threes, team stacks, KT, WE, 43%. Let's go. We're gonna try this. And then let's first go and fill the double buff, thusly. And then we'll go fill the team fight, thusly. Duplicate. 7 lines will need to be duplicated. I don't want to duplicate them, so let's. Oh, so we have 79 lineups total. Let's just go back and we'll just do it this way. Let's go back into autofill and then we'll prioritize. No, I don't want to prioritize this way. Let's go into direct fill. Sorry. Direct fill, 79 lineups. Make them all unique. And then we will just save to all. And I think that looks like we're in good shape. Let's take a look and see what we have in the Triumphant Warrior, though, specifically. So it is just there it is. So we actually are playing WE in the Triumphant Warrior. So we are gambling. Look at this, cuz in the oh, we didn't do. Sorry, we didn't fill this in yet, so we didn't sim this properly. So let's put the Triumphant Warrior in. We don't need to go too nuts over there. So let's go back and like resim for the Triumphant Warrior. Okay. And for the Triumphant Warrior specifically, it would look like this looks more reasonable. We are going to go with the IG in the Triumphant Warrior with KT. I think that makes some sense. So let's put this in just the Triumphant Warrior. Let's make sure we know what we're doing here. Triumphant Warrior, save, put this in. And then we should be good to go. And then we'll double check the exposures within the DraftKings app here and see what are the highest owned. This is across all the contests now. I'm not really trying to prioritize one over the other. So view exposures in LOL, KT Rolster. How about captain? Doesn't list it that way, huh? Diakdam, Tarzan, then Peter for KT Rolster. Let's just make sure we have enough monkey though, right? Monkey, yep, 31% of him, including a decent amount of the captain. So this one I don't like, this Kale and the captain over here. So let's do something about that. We don't need any of these support guys. Well, how did they get all this Kale in the captain? I don't need that at all. You know, this is a little bit better. Yeah, who needs this? And now we will just put these in the team fight and the double buff like that. Actually, let's go first. It doesn't really matter what order. Good. And then we will upload these, and this now we got all this the kale out of the support out of the captain. Don't need that. It's much more important to get all these junglers in there, that's for sure. And let's again see. Is this the one where I have it both in Triumphant Warrior? Yeah, I have this on both the Team Fighter and the Triumphant Warrior. This is pretty conservative, but we do have a lot of junglers lurking around. See how much the Tang one I have there. Tell you, yeah, I got a decent amount. Some of the captain too. Look at this one. You like this bad boy, 4,900 on the table here. Some of these are pretty badass. We'll see. Um, okay, so that is League of Legends. Let's do the tennis now. We're in really good shape, and then we just kind of, oh, it just kind of fell apart there. Let's just take a look. It's the one that we have. I think so. Is this what's the one that I want? Do I want the the 8 o'clock or the 6:10? Let's just see. Sports, legends, golf, tennis. We want five or yeah, 6:10. 6:10. So let's upload the projections here. And we're playing 35 in the line painter, and then one in the breakpoint. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to use our ownership projections here. So we're going to click on this tab here to save as your own owner, as your own, contest field. So we're going to do that. And then what we'll do is we will re-upload these thusly. And then we just have to kind of make sure that the contest sim settings are good. So first of all, we want to make sure the breakpoint has something. And that is, let's see. Nope. So we got to put it in there. Looks like it's gonna be about 30 entries in breakpoint. So it's that. And for the and just for the lottery, we're going to use my ownership projections. And then we'll build, we can go ahead and build 5,000. Shouldn't take that long. Then we'll see what we end up with here. Look at this. We're very I mean, this is kind of weird. We're overall pretty light, like much lower than Saber Sim. Oh, I see what I did wrong. No, see, this is no good. Hold on a second. Uh, this is my bad. No, those projections are no good. So just give me 1 second, and I'm going to fix those. So this is actually, just have it mapped wrong. So C Z Y. Okay. Hang on a second. I knew something seemed wrong. That's the good thing about it is tennis projections are clearly the easiest ones to do. So you're almost never going to be that far off of Saber Sims. So when you see that, you know that there's a problem. 1 sec. Do you remember all these numbers? I'll show you how this is much different now. Yeah, there you go. That's a little bit better. So let's this all over again. Boom, boom, boom. And that's a little bit better. Okay, there you go. So, as I was saying, we'll rebuild the lineups. And I don't need to change this because the field lineups are going to be the same because they're based on the ownerships, not necessarily the projections. Okay. So again, let's just make sure that we're doing this right. For the line painter, we're going to use Sheets's, etc. And we'll go ahead and run those sims and see what we got. See, this my projection compared to Sanderson is just a little bit different, not that big of a deal. Okay. And so what we're going to end up with, we'll go to autofill. And again, what we do here is we make sure that what something that would sim well in both contests, that the breakpoint gets priority, just because it's the bigger buy-in. So let's put these in, and then we'll take a look at the exposures. So let's take a look. Exposures, tennis. Yeah, so boy, I'm getting these like jam on it guys like every day. So Zhang, I have 94% of. Um, I guess. I guess. Like what's the deal with him? Why is he so great? At 8,400? Boy, I mean, if we get away with it, we're freaking champions, right? What is I don't know what the big deal is about the Queen Zhang. Um, 65% winning chances at 8,400. I guess that's it. Let me see something. I mean, why is he that much better than Jer, for example? This is very interesting. If we looked at it just by Saber score, I wonder what that would look like. Not single game. If I just did it by, large slate or something like that. Oh, I don't want the pool. I want exposure. Still, hold on. Let's rebuild these. I don't know what's going on here. It's not showing me the Saber score metric. It was just, even though I took it off of Sim. Let's take a look again. But 94% of that guy seems awfully aggressive. Because again, I have Jer. It's like a very similar projection at only 200 more. It would be very surprising to get that much more of one over the other. Not to mention the fact that their ownerships are very similar. This doesn't even seem to be moving here. This Zhang exposure, very awkward. Back into direct fill. 91% in direct fill. And then for Saber score, let's see this. Yeah, for whatever reason, the Sims are just kind of getting me there. I'm gonna have to overrule myself, I think, on this one. Let's maybe my ownership projections are just kind of off here. Maybe this column needed work. So let me see what it looks like with the field lineups that SaberSim would provide. See if that makes a difference. I have a feeling, I don't know why, but I have a feeling that is making a difference. So let's make this let's use the SaberSim field instead of my own and see if that makes any bit of difference. Again, we'll keep the builds the same, but let's resim with different fields. And I think it has something to do with my custom projections there. I really do. So let's see. Yeah, it has to have something to do with that. So this looks a little more normal. So this is what we're going to go with. We are going to go with the SaberSim fields. Something is off with what I'm putting in there, I think. So we're going to go with this. So we're going to have about 58% of Katie Volunets, 55% of Humbert, etc. You see it all. Leila Fernandez. But we will go into autofill. So if you go into autofill, oh, this is the exposure we have right now. That's the lineups that we have right now. So that's obviously going to change once I do this. And then we will save to the contest. Okay. And down we go. And that's going to be the tennis exposure. Just for the hell of it, I do want to test this one more time before we go to the golf. I want to just go back here and do this again. Now that I have the projections, the ownership's changed. Let me see if we create a different custom field. Sheets adjusted, I guess we'll call it. And I wonder if I'm going to predict that this is going to create more of a normal distribution of players than that other one with the Quinn Zhang 94%. We'll take a look. So this being the case, we'll experiment with this. We'll go back into the contest field tab and we'll select sheets as adjusted ones. And then we will resim with the sheets adjusted ones. See what we get here. I'm presuming it's going to be more like this now. It was, let's see. A little different, but it is still giving me a little more of the Zhang. And a full 75% of Humbert. I don't know. I think I kind of like the other one a little better, but this one doesn't give me any of the Volunets. I don't know why Volunets is showing up in one set of sims so much more frequently. Like in mine, I'm getting with the SaberSim ownership, you get like 50%. And this one you get like 2. I think I'm gonna stick with the SaberSim ones on this one. Just a little bit more of a reasonable distribution here. The only thing though is that if everybody's going to be using the SaberSim, not everybody, if a good amount of people are going to be using their contest fields, maybe we should just do this. Maybe we should, but this has just this so restricted. Look at all these guys we're getting 0 of. Yeah, we're gonna stick with the Katie Volunet's experience and go with that. So yeah, so let's remind ourselves of in this contest what everybody has. Break point, the big buy-ins. This is what it looks like. Katie Volunet's. Boy, oh boy, this is quite a stand here on the Volunet's, but that is what it is. We shall see. Okay, and then finally, let's do the round two of the golf. And you want it for fun? You want to use Ace Nine for this one? Yeah, I mean, I've had so funny. I actually did really well. I won two sets of 10Ks using Saber Sim Fields last week, but I've also had very good luck using the Ace Mind, um, just to kind of shake things up a little bit. So just again to remind ourselves how this one works. A DraftKings Showdown, uh, right over here, May 9th. Import projections, and we're only going to give it a little break because if it's being, we're not going to give it much of a break if it's being testy, which it sometimes does. Um, we're not even going to try to fix it. All right, so this is all good. Under field points, we'll use the projection value, import all this data. All this looks good. And for the which one do we want to do this for? For the see, it doesn't even have the what I need. It doesn't have the pitch and putt. Probably because it's already sold out. That's going to be my guess. So what we are going to do though is we'll use this one for the signature hole, I suppose. And we have two big buy-ins, so we'll use this one for the signature hole, and then we will get 5 generations holdover percent. We don't really mess around with anything here. So we'll run these just for the signature hole, the big buy-ins, and then while that's happening, we will do the uh the lottery on on with the SaberSim fields or with SaberSim uh builder. So let's go, we'll build here. Up we go, and we're gonna stick with the just the straight SaberSim fields over here. Not really too confident in my ownership, so we'll use SaberSim's fields this time. So it looks good. 5,000 lineups. And as that's happening, we'll take a look at the ace line, see the project progress it's making over there. Okay, not bad. So let's take these. And we'll use the same field for both the signature hole and for the par four. We'll go min uniques too for this. Export these entries. And so for you'll see we're getting there. Both Morikawa in all. Gotcha. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep these over here and we'll deal with this in a minute. So let's go back to SaberSim. It's already built these. And we're just gonna go ahead and use the stock, you know. Oh, it already did this? No, it didn't. Oh, it did. We'll do it again. And the only thing we're gonna do differently is we're not going to use the signature hole one because we're using that from Ace Mind. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go like this. This way, it doesn't take the showdown one and remove. See, if I left these together, then if something simmed in both the showdown and the signature hole and the par four and the sand trap, it wouldn't get to the sand trap. And we're already playing different lineups than this for these two big buy-ins. So let's save these this way. We'll download this file. And then you'll see this is what the contest file looks like. And we left off the signature hole and the 250 par four. So we'll fill those in. Save. And then we'll double check. We'll come back and see who we like. And you'll see what our exposures are. So in the golf showdown, we'll take a look. View exposures, we're getting golf. Just the showdown May 9th, hit apply. So Morikawa 47%, then Poston, Connors, Blair Griffin. Remarkably absent is Rory McIlroy, I guess. I mean, I have almost no McIlroy. I have 4% of him, so we'll see how that turns out. Okay, and I guess that's going to do it. So that takes care of pretty much everything that's going to be pricing and locking overnight. And that's it. Good luck, everybody.